Alright, I'm just trying to find out if we're live right now, everyone, if anyone can hear me. Okay, it appears we are live. I'm going to go ahead and show you all my beautiful face while I change the title for the stream. Just give me 1 second here. How is everybody's day going? Sorry, this will only be 1 second. Okay, there we go. That should be a lot better for everyone. Hello, I'm your host, Richie T, also known as Richard T. How are you all doing today? It's Dino Week. Everybody loves them. Who doesn't love a good dinosaur, am I correct? So, I'm going to be continuing Dino Week, this time with Modern. As we all know, Josh Warren streamed Modern Dinosaurs a couple days ago and ended 2-3 in his league. So we're going to see how well my list does compared to his. Hold on, I'm going to take a drink really quick. Sorry about that. But yeah, we're just going to see how well my list does compared to his list. So I'm going to go over my list really quick and give you all the kind of the breakdown of the deck. We have a lot of basics because of Blood Moons. We have a one of Kessig Wolfrun as kind of a utility land, just so that way we can, help push in a little bit of extra damage. 4 Stomping Grounds in our fetch lands. A pretty stock Ponza mana base. That's kind of what I took the idea of, is I just based the deck off Ponza, and then tweaked a couple things here and there to make it obviously Dino themed. So we have our ramp package in the deck of the typical Arbor of Utopia, Sprawl, 3 Birds of Paradise. I'm choosing to play Mizium Mortars as my removal, which some people bounce between like Flame Slash, Lightning Bolt. I decided on Mizium Mortars because it kills Thing in the Ice, and while Flame Slash does the same thing, you can overload this, so it also let me use it as the slots that used to be Bonfire of the Damned. So it gave me a sweeper plus a removal for Thing in the Ice, which I thought was going to be very nice. Then we move on to the actual Ponza side of the deck. Of course, for 4 Blood Moons, everybody hates this card in Modern. It helps lock many decks out. We're going to hopefully play a lot on turn 2. That's totally fine, Ryan. I appreciate you being here nonetheless. We got our 4 Stone Rains and a Molten Rain, kind of 5 destroy target land effects. If it's a non-basic with Molten Rain, we get a little bit of an extra bonus. We have 2 Acid Mosses for the fact that with our perfect hand, we will have Arbor Elf Utopia Sprawl, which is 4 mana. So this essentially works as a Stone Rain, but it also grabs this land and can help ramp us into some of our bigger dinosaurs. As well as a one of Primal Command, because I wanted a little bit of hedge for Graveyard Hate, a little bit of hedge for Burn, and also just an extra threat in the deck. So now that we've gotten done with the Ponza side of Dino Ponza, let's get on to the part that a lot of people are here for, the actual Dino part. So we have 2 Deathgorge Scavengers, which are essentially my Scavenging Ooze variant of the deck. It's a way to activate Graveyard Hate. It gains us a little bit of life, but it can also be a decent threat as a 4/3. We have 4 Ripjaw Raptors, because the body on this card for its mana cost is actually kind of insane. 4/5 for 5 is nothing to laugh at, and whenever it takes damage, you draw a card is huge. We have 3 Register Alphas, which are arguably one of the best cards in the deck, but I felt like might be a little too much mana for the deck, so I decided to only go down to trim 1 and go down to 3. It's essentially a 7/7 across 2 bodies for 5 mana, 3 of which can attack the turn that you play it, which just seems insanely strong to me. We have 2 Burning Suns avatars, which will pretty much be the slot that Inferno Titan takes up. It kills a creature as well as dealing damage to an opponent. And then we have a 1 of Carnage Tyrant, just kind of as a... It's the best dinosaur with not being able to be countered, trample, hexproof, and it's got the best stats. So it can close out games really fast, especially when it has haste with Regisaur Alpha. So that's the main deck. Now we're going to move on to the sideboard, where I've got our hate pieces, our removal, as well as just a bigger threat. So we have a second Carnage Tyrant in the board for like the control-y, mid-rangey matchups, anything that'll have trouble getting rid of him. We have 2 Beast Withins to be able to destroy any permanents, such as extra lands from, say, a deck like Tron, or maybe if there's just like a pesky artifact or enchantment we really need to get rid of. We have a 1 of Roast for Gurmag Anglers, as well as more Thing in the Ices, just a small hedge there. 2 Thrashing Brontodons to destroy artifacts and enchantments. Typically this is Ancient Grudge slot, but I have a good amount of stuff for artifacts. And I wanted a way to get rid of enchantments, and this is actually a pretty decent way, while also being Dino themed. I have 2 Damping Spheres for Tron, Storm, Phoenix, anything that's trying to cast a lot of spells or have their lands produce more than 1 mana. Also good against Amulet Titan. The other 2 Deathgorge Scavengers for like those Phoenix and Dredge matchups where they really need their graveyard. 2 Raking Canopies. This is a tech my friend Ryan, who's in chat, he plays a lot of Ponza and actually mentioned this card to me. It's really good against Spirits and Phoenix because it essentially negates the Phoenixes, and it's really hard for the Spirits to get their toughness above 4 without like double or triple Lord. So Raking Canopy can really stop a lot of their attacks. We have a 1 of Shatterstorm for the War Prison decks to get around those Welding Jars, as well as a 1 of Fracturing Gust, which doesn't get around the Welding Jars, but does hit enchantments in a deck like Bogles. We will have to be careful, though, with like Blood Moons and Utopia Sprawls, that we don't accidentally blow ourselves out with it. And then I wanted a little extra graveyard hate, so for my 5th piece of graveyard hate, I decided on Ravenous Trap, because it's the one that's the least awkward in my hand, as well as I didn't really want it to be permanent-based hate. I really wanted it to be an instant. So that's why I decided on Ravenous Trap. So that's the deck. And now, before we go to the games, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all of our sponsors. First, I want to shout out our sponsor, momsbasementgames.tcg Player Pro. Make sure you check them out. They're the one-stop shop if you need anything Magic related, from swamps, everybody needs basic lands, Skewer the Critics for all you Burn fans, islands for any of you blue mages, or even land war elves if you really want to try out elves in Modern or Legacy. For all of you watching on YouTube, check down in the description below for all of our links, as well as if you check out our TCG Pro store, you can check out our Twitch stream. Make sure to give us a like on Facebook, follow us on Twitter for all of Josh's banter, as well as all you guys watching on Twitch right now. I appreciate you guys, but I would also appreciate it if you go check out our YouTube. We have some of the best Legacy, Standard, and Modern content provided. Now, on top of that, I would really appreciate it if you gave me a follow on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @RichardTMTG. I'm willing to talk about Magic or anything else really that you want, as well as I've been trying to tweet a little bit more about other hobbies I have, one of which is League of Legends. So if you ever want to talk about anything Magic, League, or anything else related, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. Once again, that's @RichardTMTG. Alright, but you guys have heard me talk plenty now. What do you say we hop into the league? It's my turn for Dino Week. Let's see how my list fares. Also with the London Mulligan roll. I'm not quite sure how Ponza fares from the London Mulligan. It is looking to find its mana, so I could see that the London Mulligan is slightly better, but I'm not sure how much better. Yeah, I mean, the intro does take a hot second, but gotta do it, you know? Alright, we won the die roll. I would love to be on the play. Let me shrink this box. And this is an easy mulligan. No lands. Can't play Magic, unfortunately. Let's ship it back. So, this hand's decent. It's not great. Oh, our opponent's Serum Powders. Ooh, they're powdering away. So, our opponent powdered 3 times and then kept their hand. That's scary. Looks like they're on... Polo Vito tweeted out this like red aggressive Eldrazi deck. It looks like that's what they're on. And I'm definitely going to keep this 6 with a bird and a Stone Rain. We're going to go ahead and put one of these forests on the bottom of our deck. And then I want to leave that there, so I'm actually just going to leave forest into Utopia Sprawl because that's harder to deal with. And we're just going to go ahead and name red on this and pass. Interesting. Our opponent had the gemstone but didn't want to pitch a card for it. Unless they drew it for turn. I'm not really sure I want to blow that land up, but I also don't know if I want to let our opponent stay ahead on land drops. What do you guys think? Do you think I blow it up or do I just play the bird and pass? I think we're going to go ahead and just probably Stone Rain them. How many temples did they get rid of? They got rid of they got rid of 1 temple. Not that one. Yeah, I agree. I think we're gonna get that gemstone out of here. And so this is one of the scary things I've always found with this deck, is you really just want your threats now. Alright, well, that's not the worst draw. We're going to fetch another forest, play our bird, and just Stone Rain him again. Just try to keep him off magic if possible. Shivan Reef, interesting. I guess it's just like another Sulphurous Springs, but it can't cast their Dismembers. Maybe they just wanted an extra copy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go ahead and hold this land for now. We don't have much to do. And if I draw a land, I'll just play it out. Interesting mulligan decisions by our opponent, it seems like. I wonder why they powdered so much. So, I think I just want to keep our opponent off stuff. And if they play a Thought-Knot Seer, I just really don't want them to be able to take anything. So I'm going to just go ahead and play our things out here and pass. Also, notably, Mizzium Mortar is much better than Lightning Bolt against Eldrazi. Typically, the Red Splash plays things like Goblin Guides and Eidolon of the Great Revels also. Matter Shaper, sure. Alright, there we go. 1, 2. Yeah. So if I play this, I can actually use the bird. And then I can potentially attack with the Arbor Elf. So our opponent got a rampant growth off that, but that's fine. We have a 6/6 in play now. We are doing the dino things. Get the beats in with the Arbor Elf. This is the first time I've cast a dinosaur in a while, I'll tell you that. Alright, our opponent has a lot of energy. They're up to 3 energy. If they have a... I can't remember their name. It's a whirl or something. Sure. Your Smasher's tiny compared to my creature's opponent. This smells like a gut shot, but... I think I'm fine with that if it is. Is this like Spirit Guide Dismember? Sure. Huh. Okay. Hopefully we draw some gas here. Blood Moon's a little late, but we're definitely going to play it anyways because it hurts our opponent more than us. We do still need to top deck something good. Carnage Tyrant or Primal Command would be pretty good. I wouldn't mind another Burning Suns even. Mizium Mortars would actually be pretty good here since they played out 2 Mimics. So this is one of the downsides of Ponza, is you are just kind of hoping to draw out of it once something like this happens. Well, there's the Mizium Mortars I talked about. 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to go ahead and cast this with Overload right now. We're not quite in chump block or in dead mode yet. So I'm going to attack them with the Arbor Elf and hopefully we'll draw something good. Otherwise we are just dead, unfortunately, in 2 turns to this Smasher. I think it was still correct to block. Oh, we're actually just dead to that, but... yeah. I mean, Blood Moon, I think is still good in this matchup, but was kind of awkward against their hand. They just kind of drew everything that didn't care about Blood Moon. So we're going to go ahead and move to sideboarding here. Fracturing Gust doesn't seem that good. Trap and Shatter Storm don't seem that good. Blood Moon's debatable. Beast Within might be fine. It like shrinks their creatures. Canopies are definitely not good. Brontodons don't seem that great. Damping Sphere I'm not a huge fan of in this matchup. I do like Roast a lot. And we're down to needing 6 cuts now. I don't think the Scavengers are great here. They just don't have good stats. What do you guys think the last 2 cuts should be? I'm thinking about maybe trimming like a Regisaur Alpha and then something else. Because his body actually doesn't line... like, it's fine against Eldrazi's, but it's not huge. But I'm not 100% sure. I could maybe see taking the Primal Command out too. Yeah, I could see trimming on a bird. They are a Chalice deck. They might... I think they'd take Chalice out against us, but I could be wrong on that. I could see Primal Command being pretty bad here too. It doesn't seem like it has a lot of relevant text other than like to put the land on top. So what if we leave bird in and we do something like this? Or I could even see doing like this. What do you guys think about this? Do you think we leave in the bird, or do you think we leave in the Regisaur Alpha? Alpha does trade with Thought Not Seer, but not much else. Alright, we'll try it like this. I would love to go first. This hand has a Blood Moon, but it doesn't have any ramp, unfortunately. And I don't think this hand's going to be quite good enough, so I think we have to mulligan. What do you think? This is probably a pretty easy ship, right? Yeah, I think we're going to mull this. This hand's a little more risky, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think a 5 would look better than this? If we draw land, we have access to Blood Moon. If we draw 2 lands, we have access to Acid Moss, which can really help us get to our Carnities. What do you guys think about this one? I think this one's a lot closer than the first hand. We don't get a scry anymore, though. Remember that? Because this is the London Mulligan rule. So we just kind of have to hope to top deck a land. To where if we mold a 5, we have to put 2 cards on the bottom from that 7. I think I'm more inclined to mulligan. Ugh. Well, I guess close 7 into close 6 into unkeepable 5. So we got to go to 4. Alright, I mean, we don't have a choice in keeping this one. So I have to put how many cards on bottom? 3. So I think we put a land. Probably the Beast Within. And then Reggie to the bottom. And we just kind of have to hope. I didn't have a moss in that hand. I actually think I misplayed. I was supposed to lead on the forest. Because I think I wanted to fetch Stomping Ground. You think I keep the Beast Within? I think I like the Mortars. I think it's just like... It's like Beast Within, except... Because I'm not really going to be hitting a land with it. Alright. Yeah, and see, super punished for my play on turn 1. This is actually probably going to cost us this game. Because if we could Stone Rain that temple, it'd be huge. Hey, Nate. Glad to see you back again, man. Just over here punting away with Ponza, you know. The good life. Maybe I was still supposed to fetch a Stomping Ground. Because having access to double red seemed more important than, like, not losing my ramp to Blood Moon. But I think Molten Rain is our only double red card in the deck, actually. Yeah, it's just, well, there's Molten Rain, and then there's the Burning Suns, but we have to hit a lot of lands for the Burning Suns anyways. Alright, well, that's a start. So we're going to go ahead and Molten Rain their Temple and Paths. Hopefully we start drawing something good. I mean, this was a mold of 4. So. Yep, we're going to take 3. Alright, that was, on a scale of 1 to 100, probably one of our best draws in the deck. Hopefully they don't have a dismember for it. If they don't, we're looking pretty... We're not looking great, but we're looking better than... Yep, they have the dismember, unfortunately. I think this matchup probably isn't bad for Ponza. But, I mean, a mulligan to 4 and, well, another one. Between the mulligan to 4 and the fact that we just didn't draw a threat in game 1, kind of. They have another dismember, don't they? Oh, no, they don't. Cool. That's a good chance for us. We have some time to hopefully draw out of it now. Alright, that has unlocked every spell in our deck. So, we just need to top deck pretty good from now on. Here's the dismember, I think. Engineered for 1. That's pretty unfortunate. We need to draw something good to spend our mana on. Like that. Alright, we're trying our best, guys. Syrian Spirit Guide entered the revealed zone. Will our opponent choose to put it into play? No, they chose to draw it. That means they want the 3rd mana. I'm not super worried about 3 mana unless they draw a land. And then they can maybe Thought Knot or something, but I think we have to try to get a little aggressive now. You know, we're trying. They say the Pro Tour gives you good luck. That's why I got destroyed by Sam Party at Grand Prix Detroit, but we'll see. We're going to be down to 2 lands with a 4/5 in play. Hopefully it'll be good enough. That's a really good draw from them. They might even play a Smasher this turn instead. No, they choose to cast a Serum Powder. That does give them access to Smasher the next turn now, though. And we are down to 2 lands only. Yeah, Ripjaw actually looks pretty good in Ponza, to be honest. Maybe normal Ponza should even play him. We're going to just try to race this Smasher, hopefully. I don't think it'll work, but we can try. They kept their 7. That's why I'm pretty sure they have like a Smasher here. Plus the way they sequenced that last turn. No, a Scourge. Interesting. I wonder what their other 3 cards are then. I feel pretty safe fetching at this point. Alright, we're a land off from that, unfortunately. I think we're supposed to be the aggressor here. Alright, we have our opponent in the Abyss unless they play a Reality Smasher here. If we draw land, we have a Stone Rain. We do have some good amount of uncastables in our deck, but okay. That's fine. If they double block, we get to kill the Thought Knot Seer. And then we get to draw an extra card. So, yeah, I think I'm in the business for killing this Thought Knot Seer. We really just need to draw out of it. I would like to kill the Thought-Knot Seer first. Ugh. Those were not some of our better draws. We were not looking for a 6-drop when we only had 3 lands in play. That's another Scourge. Notably, our Mizium Mortars are actually pretty good against these guys, if I can overload it. So if I fetch, we're dead immediately. So I think I want to just hold on right now. And we're going to draw another Forest. So we can no longer fetch for the rest of the game. Hopefully we draw something good at 4 mana that can get us out of it. I'm not sure what that would be. But we're going to give it a draw. Pretty unfortunate games between not drawing threats in game 1 and having a mulligan down to 4 here. Yeah, we unfortunately are dead. So not the best start to the league, but we'll see if we can bounce back. There was some promise, though, with the Ripjaw Raptors. The Raptors did seem pretty good. But yeah. So the Dino side of Ponza didn't seem terrible. To where it really just felt like we didn't draw enough threats. And we did have to mulligan some hands because of not having ramp. So maybe we were supposed to leave the Birds of Paradise in. The Primal Command would have been pretty good game 1 just because we wanted to find a threat. But really anything could have been game 1 if we would have drawn it. Alright, we found our next opponent. They won the die roll. They have Watley as their symbol, so maybe they'll be on our side. Alright. So this hand's kind of risky, but it has everything we want, so I think I'm fitting to keep this hand. What do you guys think about it? What do you think, Ryan? Would you keep a hand like this where it's just 2 Utopia Sprawls? It's a little slower, but I don't think a 6 looks much better. You hate 1 lands? Alright, we'll try to mulligan. I'll listen to you guys. So now, even though it's a 7, this is technically a 6-card hand. You think I mulligan again? I mulligan to 5? I'm just really iffy on mulling to 5. We do get to draw an extra card because we are on the draw. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one. I'm going to put a Mortars on the bottom. Because the Stone Rains can try to make our opponent play Magic at our own pace. Bloodstained Mire fetch. We're against Burn. Gotcha. Bam. Never didn't have it. Goblin Guide draws us the land. Good old Goblin Guide. Always on our side. Alright. Well, we've got plenty of lands now, which is good. We can either Birds, Mizium Mortars next turn, or Stone Rain them, depending on which play looks better. And there's a Stone Rain on top of our deck now. Oof, Eidolon. I think I'm actually going to kill the Eidolon and play a bird. I just really want to conserve my life total. Yeah, I think my goal is to keep him off white starting next turn. But I just can't keep playing spells into an Eidolon. Maybe our opponent's going to like Simian Spirit Guide, Manamorphose, Shadow of Doubt me. That could... Maybe that's why they're in the tank right now. Alright, we got all of our mana online right now. So we got plenty of stone rains for them coming up. But they do got this little goblin in play. They got 2 little goblins in play. Mwahaha. I'd really be down for like a Ripjaw Raptor or a I was actually thinking Death Gorge Scavenger, so that's pretty awesome. That'll gain us a little bit of life. I think we're going to just take these Goblin Guides this turn, though. Oh, hey, Gavin, what's up? Riftbolt entered Suspend. So, yeah, I think we're going to go ahead with the Death Gorge Scavenger here. Just try to gain some life, plus make them... We'll make them use the Riftbolt on this. I think I'm actually going to go ahead and block. No, I'm actually not, because we can draw Regisaur Alpha. We have a Utopia Sprawl on top, so I actually am going to go ahead and block. Goblin Guide giving us like a pseudo scry there almost. Just want to try to keep my life total up a little bit. We can't keep them off white right now, but we are going to go ahead and just Stone or Molten Rain their Sacred Foundry. Try to keep them off double spelling a little bit more. Looks like they probably got like a Boros Charm or something at my end step here. Or a Lightning Helix maybe. Nope, Boros Charm. Burn definitely seems like a hard matchup. So, yeah, Burn definitely seems tough. That's part of the reason I put the Primal Command in the deck. But it's still going to be sketchy. That is a Ripjaw on top, though. So if we can stabilize, that will help us come back. But we're going to be at 3, probably just dead. Yeah. Alright, so on to game 2. Fracturing Gust can actually be kind of cute with all of our stuff. But that might just be too cute. Shatterstorm and Ravenous don't seem great. Beast Within doesn't seem great. Canopies don't seem great. Brontodon doesn't seem awful as like an early drop. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. I don't think we want the Carnage Tyrants. They're probably just too much mana. What do you guys think our last 5 cuts are? Do you think the Fracturing Gust is probably too cute? I think that Fracturing Gust play might be a little too cute and might just like hurt us more than it help us. So now we're down to 4 more cuts. Do you guys think Blood Moon's good in this matchup? It helps keep them off their colors of white and green post-sideboard. But yeah, it might just be... Yeah, Blood Moon is good? Okay. Do we maybe trim on some of the Stone Rains then? Like maybe we can take out the Acid Moss since they're 4 mana. I think Acid Moss might be one of the cuts. Well, they can't really play around Blood Moon too well because they don't play any basic like planes or anything. Molten can go. Alright, so we need to... Oh, not that. Where's Ripjaw? Get back in there. What do we think about this? I like the Burning Suns because it can kill their threats. The Regisaurs give us some good bodies. Primal Command gains us life. Ripjaws are good bodies. Brontodons are good cheap bodies. We're almost just boarding into like an actual mid-range deck here. What do you guys think of this? We're just almost going away from the Ponza plan. Except for like the Blood Moons and a couple Stone Rains to try to keep them off white. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and try this. I would love to be on the play. This hand just seems way too slow against Burn. I think we need an Accelerant to have a chance in this matchup. So I'm going to go ahead and ship it. So this one doesn't have an Accelerant, but it does have 2 pieces of removal. What do you guys think? Do we go down to 5? Or do we keep this? It is the London Mulligan rule. So... Nate says keep. What does everyone else say? I'm going to wait a couple more seconds. You think we keep? Okay. I'm down to keep, and we're probably just going to put this Burning Suns on the bottom. Pass it back. Yeah, it was definitely shipped the highest CMC when we don't have any ramp in our hand. Lead on a Goblin God. That's definitely going to get Mizium mortared. Or roasted. I guess it's like the same thing. We see a Blood Moon on top. That might be fine. We'll see how it goes. Definitely getting a Stomping Grounds here, though. I don't really want to draw the Blood Moon anyways. We drew another Forest. Opponent has a pause in my draw step, apparently. Yeah. Hold the Mortar. It can be better late game if we need it. Go ahead and roast ourselves some goblins. How do you guys think roasted goblin tastes? I feel like it can't be that good. Goblins are kind of dirty creatures, you know? They're green. I feel like your skin can't be green and you be healthy. Thank you for the cookies. Who doesn't love a good cookie, am I right? Goblin Guide, Swift Spear. So they're very creature heavy this draw. Do you think I Stone Rain the white source, or do you think I go ahead and just Mizium Mortars one of the creatures? Which play do you think is correct here? All right, we're gonna go ahead and kill one of these creatures. I think it's gonna be Swift Spear just because Swift Spear has the higher ceiling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we definitely sprawl. Then we're gonna Mortars the Swifty. We get to play Alpha next turn, so we might be able to stabilize here. They do have 4 cards in hand, though. Let me pop out the graveyards for you guys. The old Goblin Guide gets in. Reveals Ripjaw Raptor. That'll be a good play to follow up our Regisaur Alpha. I think I want one more red source in case we draw Burning Suns at any point. And in case I don't want to draw a forest and not have enough red, so I think I'm going to fetch the basic mountain here. You think I Ripjaw first? Alright, I'll fetch a Stomping Ground tapped then and play Ripjaw. Boros, Charm Me, EOT. There's a chance we can just die. Oh, do they have a Path? Path is kind of a reason to have played Regisaur Alpha. Yeah, man, if you want to go ahead and post your Modern deck, go ahead. I'll check it out in between games. Yeah, feel free to tweet at MBG or at me. If you check out any of our YouTube videos, or if you scroll down, you can actually find our Twitters there. Alright, Riftbolt entered the suspend zone, and we're at 5. That's scary. I draw an Arbor Elf. So we're just going to go ahead and play everything out and hope we don't die. Yeah, I think the Alpha might have been the correct play last turn. I'm going to go ahead and ship in for 3. Because we have 2 blockers as is, and if they have enough to kill 2 creatures, we're dead anyways. Woo. Let me go ahead and pull that off screen. Sorry about that, guys. I was just pulling up that deck list. Alright. Are we dead yet? Whoop. We are dead, unfortunately. That's a shame. Alright, so this deck list looks like Illusions. Seems pretty sweet. Here, I'll pull it up for everyone on stream, if you guys want. We can all get our opinions on it. Illusions always seem pretty cool. It was actually something I used to play back in casual Magic. So, Collected Company and Incubation seem pretty decent. You're almost going for like a Merfolk-esque approach almost, it seems like. With no other way to mill, is there just no other better 1-drops than Jace's Phantasm? That's my only wonder. And I feel like I definitely probably want 4 Aether Vial in the deck. Definitely seems like a sweet deck, though. Alright, but we're going to get back to the other sweet deck in Modern Dino Ponza that we are currently 0-2 with, unfortunately. But I'm sure we can bounce back. I actually don't think the bear is awful. I think it's one of the better 1-drops you can play in that deck. Yeah, it stinks that it dies to anything you're targeting it, but for the most part, a 2 toughness creature would die to just about anything it's being targeted by anyways. Yeah, if you just need another 1-drop, I could see having to play it. I'd maybe recommend with Collected Company playing some Mana Dorks in there too instead of another Illusion. So maybe playing like Noble Hierarch, or if you can afford Nobles, definitely Nobles. If you can't afford Nobles, Birds are fine. That's kind of like the same approach that Spirits take. No, I think I'd rather play a Mana Dork than opt. Alright, we found ourselves a match. Alright, we actually have a pretty good hand this time. We have ramp into threats. We're going to go ahead and keep. Yeah, I mean, Spirits does the same thing. It plays Noble Hierarch, and Noble Hierarch's not a Spirit. We're against 8-rack. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm going to go ahead and just discard a land here. Like, he might have to put a little bit more green into the mana base, but I think that's fine. I'm going to go ahead and play the birds out because both really stink against smallpox, but I feel like the birds is easier to kill. Exhibit A. And there's the rack. Green does add decent sideboard cards. A Molten Rain for later. I think I'm just going to play a fetch and Utopia Sprawl this without fetching, because then I still have the land in my deck for if they smallpox me. So, ramping seems like it would be useless, but it's actually not, because you're just trying to ramp into Coco, because Coco is the most powerful card, and when you're more 3-drop heavy, it just allows you to have more plays on turn 2. So, I'm going to eat this Raven's Crime on my turn, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just discard this Molten Rain. Yeah, and if budget's the issue, I'd definitely recommend just playing Birds of Paradise. Alright, our opponent's going to try to beat us down with their Mutavault. We're going to go ahead and fetch ourselves a Stomping Ground here. Oh, they actually discarded a Raven's Crime, 2 Raven's Crime. Interesting. Ooh. So I actually think I'm just going to go ahead, fetch a forest, and play this Blood Moon. Because it will stop a lot of our opponent's hand based off what I see right now. We are still having to deal with the rack, which is going to slowly kill us, but we can probably race it. This one only does damage if I have one or fewer in hand, right? Yep. So we're going to take one here off the rack. Not a great draw here. So I could play out Death Gorge, but I'm actually not in a huge hurry to. So I think I'm actually going to pass because I want to have 3 cards in hand for the rack. We get kind of punished there by Inquisition, but I figured it'd be more likely that they'd flash back a Raven's Crime. We need one more land to play a fatty, otherwise I would. Alright, that's kind of a land, so 1, 2, yeah. We're going to go ahead and Utopia Sprawl on the forest we just tapped. We could actually use another red, correct? Yeah. Then we're going to go ahead and pass. That draw does seem kind of awkward, but it's actually not. Okay, they did have the card for Raven's Crime, which is kind of unfortunate. We're going to discard this. We're going to take 5 now. So they might actually be able to race us. Because racks add up pretty fast. Like, this is 5 damage a turn now. We're dead in 3. They're still at 20. I think I have to just play this Regisaur, though, and try. We might just not play anything next turn, though. I'm not actually sure if Regisaur is going to get there, but we're going to give it our best. Because we're actually dead on our next turn unless they don't have a discard spell. Or we're actually dead in general on our next turn. Or no, yeah. They have to have a discard spell to kill us. But we can't play anything out. Oh, do. Yeah, we just die, actually. The rack actually kills relatively fast if it has more than one rack effect. So, alright. How do we want to sideboard against the rack? Fracturing Gust seems really good against them at being able to blow up their racks and Shrieking Afflictions. Ravenous Trap and Shatterstorm doesn't seem that great. Just because it only hits one thing. Beast Withins might be decent. Canopies don't seem good. Neither does any of the removal because it's all sorcery speed. What do you guys think the last 4 cards we cut are? I'm trying to think what might not be that great here. Do you think the Blood Moons are actually good? Because they are a mono black deck. Avatar. What do you guys think about taking out Blood Moon? Oh, yeah, Burning Suns is pretty bad, you're right. What do you guys think the last 2 cuts in the deck are? You think we take out 2 moons? I'm willing to buy that. I think I like Stone Rains more because we can try to keep them off black mana if they have a Mood Vault heavy draw like last time. Tyrant seems pretty decent. All of our ways to gain life seem pretty decent. And being able to kill the rack seems pretty good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and be on the play with a really good hand. Turn 1 Accelerant with either a Stone Rain or a Threat, and then Ripjaw Raptor. We're going to go ahead and fetch a Forest and play our bird. Thoughtseize. Sure. Probably take our Ripjaw Raptor here is my guess, because it's our best card. No, it takes the Stone Rain. Interesting. We draw a Kessig Wolfrun, which is a pretty good clock if we end up drawing a lot of lands. So I think I'm going to just go ahead and Kessig Wolfrun and then go ahead and play this Death Gorge Scavenger. We need to try to get a fast clock on the table. I would like to use its ability. Actually, I probably shouldn't have used its ability there. They don't have much that... They typically don't play like a Murderous Cut or something. But... Alright, Fracturing Gust would be sweet here. Stone Rain's not bad. They've been missing land drops. So if we play this, we're down to 2 cards, which means we could take a lot of damage, but we also have a pretty fast clock. Yeah, I'm in for the Stone Rain. And I think I want to just play the Stomping Ground tapped. That way we can play any 5 drops. So they drew another land, but they don't have a discard spell. I'm fine taking 1. We can race taking 1. So here we're going to attack for 4, eat their land. And now we're going to go ahead and play the Ripjaw Raptor. Which actually means that they're dead next turn. Lily of the Veil. So not quite dead next turn now. 4, 8. Notably, they would have been dead if I played a land or the Utopia Sprawl. But I didn't want to get Shrieking Affliction. That's not bad. It actually is kind of bad because, again, we didn't play a dead anything. So I think we're just going to kill Lily and attack them for 4 here. We're going to choose not to eat anything since he's attacking Lily. And I just want to leave fuel for him. And then I think we're going to just go ahead and play the fetch land this time. Alright, that game was pretty easy. As you see, when we're not under the Shrieking Affliction, we can win pretty fast. It's just like Affliction plus Rack when we have only one card in hand does a lot of damage. Yeah, I definitely think we're running it back. It felt pretty good this way. Brontodon seems really good in this matchup. I almost wonder if somewhere in the 75 we should have one more piece of enchantment hate, but I'm not sure what we'd cut for it. I guess that's kind of what the Beast Withins are for. They can also hit enchantments. Alright, let's try it in game 3, shall we? This hand seems fine. It's kind of like our hand we had last game. Just bird with threat or annoying card plus payoff. Yep, go ahead and Thoughtseize me. That's kind of unfortunate. They probably take the bird here unless they have a way to kill it. If they have a way to kill it, yeah. They don't... Oh, they mulligan to 4 this game. Or 5 this game, actually. Tough for our opponent. We draw a Beast Within. We're just going to pass off our foothills. Fetch ourselves a Stomping Ground tapped. Vampire Hexmage. That's an interesting include. There's no Dark Depths in this format, so... I wonder why they decided to play that. Maybe it's just a way to kill Planeswalkers. They might think we have something like Chandra in the deck because Ponza typically plays something like Chandra. But since we're Dinos, we do not have any of those. Our opponent's going to get a little bit of beats in, but we're going to play our Scavenger. Probably not going to block if given the option. Wrench Mind. So I think this is a Blood Moon and... What do you think the other discard here is? I'm thinking probably Beast Within or Primal Command. Yeah, I agree. I think it's Within. They only have one card in hand now. And we're not super scared of any of their rack effects. Ooh. That's actually a really good draw because it can block the Hexmage. Block the Hexmage, blow up any annoying artifact or enchantment they play. They really could have used a Raven's Crime this game. They probably would have crimed at least once. Alright, so if we hit another land, that guarantees our 5th. I'm just going to go ahead and play this Death Gorge and eat the birds out of my graveyard to gain some extra life. You think Command was the discard, Ryan? I could see an argument for both. I think the Alpha is definitely the best card in our hand, or was the best card in our hand. But I felt like with them only having one card in hand, the Beast Within was probably a little bit worse. Alright. Now we get our Stone Rain ramp on. I would not like to pay 2 life. And then this gets +1/+1, right? Yeah. So we can actually go ahead and ship in with it. And we can eat their swamp out of their graveyard in case they have something like Crucible. Interesting. They just decided to chump. I guess it's probably not attacking much more, so... That's fair. I'm just not sure what I'm going to want to Beast Within of mine. I kind of want my lands. Smallpox. But I wanted my 5th land opponent. I think we're going to sack the Death Gorge since we've seen Hex Mage out of them. Okay, so they're Hellbent. So I need a land, and they just need gas at this point. Arbor Elf is technically a land. So, to any of you guys who have played Ponza in chat, oh, that's a good clock, though. I might actually hold up on playing a card, so I'm not just going to get, like, afflictioned out of this game. Or that. I'm just going to go ahead and blow this up now. Get in for 1. Alright, they drew a land this turn, so the coast should be pretty clear at this point. We drew a Beast Within in case they draw anything that might threaten us. Really glad that I put the Brontodons in the board instead of Ancient Grudges. Actually paying off here. Being able to destroy an enchantment is somewhat relevant in Modern from time to time. Sure. Just go ahead and sack this Arbor Elf at this point. We have him dead in 2 turns. So I'm going to actually go ahead and sprawl my forest. So that way if I decide to Beast Within something of mine, I'm going to Beast Within the Utopia Sprawl. All creatures at my opponent. Alright, and we are on the scoreboard. We are 1-2 so far with Modern Ponza Dinos. Let's see if we can maybe rally back, shall we? So what do you guys think of the shell that I ended up building? I was trying to figure something else out so we both weren't playing Ponza, but nothing else really seemed like it would fit the Dino shell that well. I worked on the shell with a couple of my friends, Ryan Zeitz, who's in chat right now, as well as Travis Hawk. We worked on the list and the numbers together, and I feel like we came to something that's probably close to the most solid thing you can do with Dinos in Modern. You just need to be able to make your opponent stumble a little bit more. I've definitely been impressed by, like, the Ripjaw Raptors. I've always thought that that card was way better than people gave it credit for. That's why I really wanted to make sure to play 4 in it today. We lost the die roll, but what do you guys think? This is another one of those 1-land hands, but we have a lot to do on 3 mana. What do you guys think? Keep or mole on this one. We're also on the draw. Nate thinks ship it. What does everyone else think? Do you guys think we also ship? Oh, we do have no red. You're correct. Good point. So this hand's a little bit slower, but we have Elysium Mortars for interaction. We're probably going to tuck one of these lands. Probably the Stomping Grounds. Yeah, I think we keep this one. Put the Stomping Grounds on bottom. Forest Arbor Elf. Could be a Ponza mirror. How do you think Dinos stack up against the normal threats in Ponza? Rewarded. We're just going to get ourselves a forest here and play the bird. Yeah, you think the Dinos are better than most of the threats that Ponza plays? It could be like Devotion or Tooth and Nail, but Most likely Ponza is my guess. Breeding pool. Okay, so my guess is this is like... The first thought's the mono green land destruction deck. Okay, so it's mono green devotion. I wonder what the blue splash is for then. So our best play here, I think, is just to Mizium Mortars the Arbor Elf, and then next turn we get to Acid Moss this land. Right, I know they play Wistful Silky, but I don't remember them playing Breeding Pools. Maybe I'm wrong on that. So they get to rebuy their Arbor Elf, but we do just get to blow up their land next turn. Try to stunt their mana. Let's get a Stomping Ground here. Draw another Stomping Ground, but we're just going to fetch ourselves a Forest. Oh, okay. And blow up that land right there. Then ship it back to him. I'm okay with them Genesis. They actually can't even cast Genesis Wave right now. Bop. Bop. You know what's going to block these 2-1s and 1-1s? Regisaur Alpha. Bam. Big Dino. I actually think I'm going to get a little aggressive here. No, it's definitely the mono green devotion deck. The Overgrowth definitely tells me that it's that. Same with the Kessig Wolf Run. Pretty common in those decks. You're playing something for 4 here. Oh, Hydroid Krasis is what the blue's for. That's actually pretty sweet. Krasis is a really good card. Mizium Mortars is an even better card, though. Bye-bye, opponent's board. Bye. Have a good day. Yeah. So glad I chose to include Mizium Mortars. Alrighty. So let's see. How do we sideboard against mono green devotion? Rev Trap, Shatterstorm doesn't seem great. Blood Moon's a maybe. It's good against Nykthos. Raking Canopies don't seem that good. Damping Spheres don't seem that good. I feel like the Death Gorges probably aren't great in this matchup. Do you agree the Death Gorges probably aren't that good? They just don't stack up that well body-wise. What do you think about Fracturing Gust to blow up their ramp spells? Do you think that might just be a little too cute? Also, I think Blood Moon's not that good because they're at base a mono green deck. So what do you think about cutting the Blood Moons and the Fracturing Gusts? Blood Moon shuts off Nykthos, but so does our Stone Rains and Beast Withins. Do you think I take out Blood Moon, or do I leave Blood Moon in? I think Avatar's fine. Like, I agree it's not great, but it's like our Inferno Titan. It can kill their creatures. I'm thinking about taking out Blood Moons and then maybe a Roast. What does everyone else in chat think? Two split on Moon and what? Moon and Stone Rain? I'm going to go ahead and try cutting like this. You guys can let me know what you think while we play. I'm not sure what you meant 2-2 split on Moon with. No, it was 60. Oof. This is another one-lander, but we know they don't have many ways to interact with us. And it is 4 mana on turn 2, if we keep this. And draw land. If we don't, it's just 2 mana, but we have a lot of mana later on. I don't remember what split I asked about. But nonetheless, what do you guys think? Do you think this hand's a keep still? Or do you think we try to mulligan again? I know we don't like one-landers, but this is technically like 4 mana. Yeah, I think we keep this one. Lead on Arbor Elf, hopefully draw another land and 2 cards. Alright, that's not a land, unfortunately, but we have another draw still. We have some good interaction for when they try to ramp, too. So they also have red in their deck. Looks like they probably have the 4 mana on turn 2. Yep. So if we draw land, we do get to Stone Rain them, which will be pretty huge. They chose blue. Is this just a Krasis? Kiora. That's pretty nutty, actually. She's essentially free in the deck. I actually really like that tech from our opponent. Overgrowth on the other land. Alright, we're really going to need a land so we can start Stone Raining them. Perfect. I'm going to Acid Moss the land with Overgrowth on it. Grab ourselves a Stomping Ground and pass. Kiara doesn't ult for a while, so we should be fine on that. She actually seems like really good in this deck, to be honest. Like, I actually really like what our opponent's doing. Yeah, like, that's a turn 3 Primeval Titan? I'm not sure we can actually beat that. They just ramp so much harder than us, you know? And it's mostly thanks to this Kiora. So we have 2, 4, 5, 6 mana. We can Stone Rain plus Brontodon, which I think is the line. We gotta just go ahead and Stone Rain this Nykthos because it'll make way too much mana. Then we can use this to maybe blow up the Utopia Sprawl. But I feel pretty dead, honestly. Thank you. Seems like they might just be ramping a little bit better than us this game. Which happens. Prime time coming in hot. Well, we're not going to block. Yeah, Kiora seemed really good here. She was essentially just like a free +4 mana every turn. If this is a big Hydroid Crisis, I'm probably just going to concede. Alright, we're going to concede to that anyways. They just ramped harder and faster than us. We didn't get to interact with them. So, you guys think we should do two Blood Moons over 2 of the Stone Rains? If I was picking up what you guys were saying. Maybe we're trying to be a little bit too big and we can board out. Maybe we should board out a top end. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we still have a Death Gorge Scavenger in our deck for some reason. I totally missed clicking that. Sorry. I feel like we just need, we need ways to, do big things. But maybe Avatar is not good. Because we already only have 13 creatures in our deck now. So I really don't know if we can afford to cut the Avatar. Maybe we can trim one Avatar for the other Stone Rain. I can cast it, though. I cast it in our first round, remember? They don't blow up our lands is the thing. I think I still need the 1, but I think I'm fine going down to 1. It just, kind of trades itself for the Carnage Tyrant. I think this hand just doesn't interact enough and doesn't have enough ramp. What do you think? I think this is a pretty easy mole. At least for the first time. For the first hand. If this was our 6, I'd maybe keep it, but I don't think I'm going to keep this. Yeah. This hand seems a lot better to me. Just trying to decide what we tuck, maybe. I think we probably tuck a land. Yeah, I think we tuck a land. It's either land or one of our 5-drops. Yeah, I agree. I think we ship a land. He mulliganed to 6 also. We're going to play our bop and pass. The question is, do we Molten Rain on 1? Okay, we definitely Molten Rain on 1. If he played an Arbor Elf, I think there was actually like a debate for that. Grab a Stomping Ground. And blow up that basic. Ooh, they didn't fetch a forest? That means this Blood Moon's probably going to get them. Oh, no, we need to draw land now. Oof. That's unfortunate. Cure his follower with an island. Well, I think we're going to just go ahead and shut them off green mana and hope that it'll be good enough. Yeah, their deck was greedier than I first realized. So I think the moon is fine. Typically, they only, like... Oh, no! They have their own Stone Rains, apparently. Well then. That makes me sad. We are just on, like, a 2-2 beats, and they don't have forests right now, so... We'll see how this game goes. Yeah, I mean, I didn't expect Stone Rain at all from them. Apparently, they also play Stone Rains. Man, I really could have used that land, too. They were really hedging for the mirror, question mark? Alright. Oh, but we need a green source. We're going to die to this 2-2, aren't we? We're going to totally die to this 2-2. It's definitely not Temur Moon. We've seen, like, the Nykthoses and everything. It's 100% mono green devotion. They're just, like, splashing Stone Rains and shit for God knows what reason. Gosh, now they have their forest. Yeah, we're probably just dead. Like, they played double Stone Rain against us. Congratulations. Like, you are literally, like, playing a pile. But that's kind of modern. Sometimes you can just play whatever you want and do good. Wonder what they're thinking about. Wonder what this last card in their hand actually is. Maybe it's a Hydroid Crisis and they're trying to think about what to cast it on. I think if it is a Hydroid Crisis, I think 5 is actually the correct number. Maybe 6, actually. Oh, it's a Primal Command. They were trying to decide what the target was. Sure. Yeah, I think that's going to be lights out for us, unfortunately. They just got access to all of their mana and everything now. So, like, playing the Blood Moon isn't even that great right now. I mean, like, it kind of unlocks us, but it definitely helps them a lot more. Like, they have this Kessig Wolf Run that I think can actually just kill us. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Quit fetching, opponent. I'm trying to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. I mean, they only get through 2 if they just Wolf Run. And they lose their follower. Oh, they tutored up Primeval Titan, though. When they put the Blood Moon on top. Yeah, I mean, it's how these matchups typically go. They're a bigger mana deck than us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 12. We have to be able to block 4. We can do that. But that involves us just Mizium Mortars in here. Which I guess technically keeps us alive another turn. Like, I think we're definitely losing this game, but who knows? So I'll give it a try if they don't have a land in hand. If they have a land in hand, we're just exactly dead. Yep. Let's see if they see the line. Yep. So unfortunate. We went 1 and 3 with the deck. Closing thoughts on the deck. I think that Regisaur Alpha is definitely very good in the Ponza archetype. It definitely felt pretty solid, all in all. The rest of the dinos just kind of seemed underwhelming, in my opinion. Between, like, Regisaur was okay, but at 5 mana, it just wasn't impactful enough. Burning Suns is definitely just, like, a worse Inferno Titan. The Death Gorges were fine, but, like, Scooz is just, like, a 1 mana less Death Gorge. And I kind of just felt my typical problem with Ponza, personally, where it just feels like a mediocre deck unless you draw perfect. So that's kind of just my opinion. So those are the closing thoughts, but before we go, I want to just hop back over to the sponsor and ask you guys to please check out momsbasementgames.tcgplayerpro.com anytime you want to buy any cards for Ponza or the next dinosaur deck you play, maybe. We have a whole bunch of cards that you would be interested in. The biggest thing about this deck, because you had no way to manipulate your draws or manipulate the top of your library. Yeah, like, Chandra, I think, is a huge play. But they only play, like, 2 Chandras normally. I don't know. Like I said, the Ripjaws felt decent for the fact that they were card draw in a deck that really needed more ways for card advantage. If you're watching on YouTube, check down in the description box below. You'll find all this information that I'm talking about and more. But make sure that you check out our Twitch sometime. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Keep an eye on Josh and everyone else's banter. As well as all you guys on Twitch. Make sure to check out our YouTube channel, please, for the best legacy, modern, and standard content that can be provided by all of our streamers. As well as if you want to do a huge favor to me, follow me on Twitter. My Twitter is @RichardTMTG. I tweet about Magic, League of Legends, anything else, memes especially. Check it out. If you ever need someone to talk to, hit me up on Twitter. Other than that, guys, I think this is where I bid thee adieu. Tell everyone to have a wonderful day, and thank you all for tuning in. Have a good one.